Hi everyone and welcome to another cooking video with me, Brenda. Today we're going to be making a vegan lasagna. It's very simple to make, just a little bit time consuming of course because it takes a while to cook and just to do some prep. What is going to be different about my lasagna is that there's going to be a bottom layer of crumbled tofu. It's kind of like to try to mimic ricotta, and it also adds protein, and I love tofu. So I'm going to show you quickly the ingredients that I'm going to be using, and then we're going to get to cooking. So I'm going to start off the sauce first, and in my sauce I'm just going to put an onion, some mushrooms, just whatever mushrooms that you have. So I'm going to be using these white mushrooms, and I'm going to use tomato sauce. Today I'm using this passata, some tomato paste, and I'm going to add a little bit of wine that I have left over in the bottle from last night. And I'm just going to flavor it with your typical pepper, garlic, oregano, and some salt. And then I'm also going to do a layer of spinach. So this is the spinach that I will be using. And of course nutritional yeast with the tofu to make the crumble. I will show you how I make this on its own. The pasta that I'm using is just these lasagna sheets. You can either cook this before or you can put it in raw. It's just that if you are putting it in raw is make sure that you have a lot of liquid in the pan because it's going to soak up a lot of it and you don't want to have a super dry lasagna. And the cheese I'm going to be using is Miyoko's mozzarella. Whatever plant-based cheese that you have that you want to use, go right ahead. And yeah, let's get started. So first, let's make the sauce. Next video. Okay, so I've gone ahead and chopped up the mushrooms. I'm keeping them pretty big because I like the texture it's going to give to the sauce and to the lasagna. I've chopped up the onion, so we're going to go ahead and put that in a pot. I've put a little bit of grapeseed oil. Give that a quick stir. So here I'm going to add some salt, just to make it sweat a little bit. Some garlic powder. If you want to use fresh garlic, you are more than welcome to do that. Some pepper. Oregano. Give that another quick stir. So I'm going to let this cook for about 5 minutes before I put the sauce in, just to make sure that it cooks better in the oven. And this would be a good time to go ahead and preheat your oven at 425. Okay, so it's been about 5 minutes and the mushrooms and onions, as you can see, are fairly cooked. So now I'm going to add some wine. This is the wine that, there you go, the wine that I'll be using. It's just a little bit that's left over from last night. So I would say that is about a cup. And it's also optional. You don't have to put wine in there. Then I'm going to take the wooden spoon and I'm just going to scrape everything that was at the bottom there. That's obviously flavor. Do that. Let that boil. And then I'm going to add some tomato paste. I'll do this so you can see how much I'm putting that much. This is intense tomato flavor. Stir that in. And I also did add some cayenne pepper. Again, optional if you don't like heat. Look at the color, how intense that is. And it smells divine already. Stir, stir, stir. Oh, there's cayenne in the air. It's going up my nose. Okay, now we're gonna add the tomato sauce. Ooh, the cayenne pepper. There it goes. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give this a rinse and add some water. So probably, I would say 3/4 of a cup of water. And if you want to add more veggies here for your sauce, you can go right ahead. I usually add green pepper, but I don't have it. gonna let this sauce cook for about 20 minutes. And while this is cooking, I'm gonna make the tofu, and let me show you how I make that. I also want to mention, just to make sure that you add a little bit of sweetness in here, I'm gonna be adding just a little squirt of agave, just this much. If you don't have this, you can just go ahead and put a pinch of sugar. Try not to use brown sugar, use white sugar here. And yeah, that's just to balance out the tomato flavor a little bit, because it can be very acidic. So yeah, cover this 20 minutes. Okay, so now I'm gonna make the layer of tofu, and it starts off with, I opened up the packet, and I also drained the water. Now you're gonna use your hands and you're just gonna crumble this as much as you can. I'm sure that's not a very appeasing sound right now. Okay, so this is the texture that you want right here. Let me quickly rinse my hands. Your hands will forever be the best tools that you have in the kitchen. So now we're gonna flavor this crumbled tofu. I'm gonna go ahead and put some salt, some garlic, a little bit of pepper, and some oregano, and of course, nutritional yeast. This is what's gonna give it the cheesy flavor. Also packed with B12, so I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup. And then you're gonna take a spoon and you're gonna mix that and let it sit so it absorbs all of those delicious flavors. And when it's time to assemble the lasagna, I will show you how I do that once everything is ready to assemble. Avengers, assemble. Look at that. How easy was that, right? And the next step, what we are gonna do is assemble the lasagna. Stay tuned. Okay, so now we are ready to assemble our lasagna. We're gonna start off with a little layer of the sauce at the bottom. That's so it doesn't burn at the bottom. Okay, so I've gone ahead and done that and made a mess, because I always make a mess. Make sure it's everywhere. Okay. Now we are going to put our raw lasagna sheets in. I'm gonna overlap it just for the bottom, just to make sure that, there we go. Like so. And now we add our layer of spinach. Yum. And just a little bit more sauce. Remember, you have to put a lot of sauce if you're not gonna cook the lasagna sheets first. Oh, made another mess. Take a shot every time I make a mess. There we go. And now we're gonna go ahead and add another layer. If you want to put some plant-based cheese in between, you are more than welcome to do so. There we go. Yeah. And now it's time to do the layer of the tofu that we made. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. And spread it out. Yum. And we're gonna add a little bit more sauce. And you can use this just to even it out. This looks so good. And again, you can put more cheese here if that's what you want. I don't want my lasagna to be too cheesy. And now we're gonna add another layer of the sheets. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this for the top layer. Why not? Woohoo. Look at that. Okay, so we're gonna add the final layer of tomato sauce. And then we're gonna put some cheese and we're gonna cover it in foil. And I'm gonna put that in the oven at 425. Make sure that it was preheated. Don't wanna put a lasagna in a cool oven. And I'm gonna cook it for about 35 to 40 minutes. Make sure all the lasagna is covered here because you don't want uncooked lasagna. I made exactly just enough sauce. Perfect. And the last scoop. Yum. And now I'm gonna go ahead and take the mozzarella, the Miyoko's mozzarella, and I'm just going to do chunks like this. If you don't have this cheese, again, whatever plant-based cheese you have at home or your favorite, go ahead and do that. So I'm just gonna crumble that everywhere. I'm gonna use both hands. And this cheese here, this Miyoko's cheese mozzarella, it melts very, very well. I will show you the end result when it comes out of the oven. And I left some space here. I didn't want the lasagna to be too high, because when you put the foil and you put it in the oven, when you take off the foil, all the cheese layer comes off. So insulting, so that's why I didn't make it too high. Oops. Make sure it's even all across the board here. Like that. That's gonna melt so beautifully. Okay. Rinse my hands. Okay, and cover it up and put it in the oven. I just took the lasagna out of the oven. Steam coming off. How delicious does that look? Wow. So now what you're gonna do is that you're gonna let it sit here without the foil on top, just so it cools down and just so everything's set, so when you cut into it, it just doesn't disintegrate all over your plate. So let it cool for about 10-15 minutes, cut it in pieces, and serve it. I will show you that part once it's cooled down. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut out 2 pieces, but I want to show you the inside of the lasagna this way. Look at all those layers. Yum. Let's eat. Okay, so the lasagna is ready. I've plated it, so I'm gonna go ahead and taste it. But before I do that, I wanna say thank you again for watching. Make sure to comment, like, or share. And if you have not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, please do so. I appreciate the support. And enjoy this lasagna, because I know I will. Ooh, spicy. Very good. Thanks again for watching, guys. Bye.